Did you know? In the original Japanese version of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, the Boo Girl Pika was styled in the fashion of a Playboy bunny. This is toned down in the American and European releases, where she is instead given a pair of cat ears. Pika's design isn't the only localization difference in The Thousand-Year Door. In one of the game's side quests, Mario must unite the star-crossed lovers Frankie and Francesca. The Italian translation of the game changes their names to Giuliani and Romoletta, an allusion to Romeo and Juliet. In the German version of the game, the town of Far Outpost is called Grossosththeim. This is a pun on GROSSOSTHEIM, the real-world German town where the Nintendo of Europe headquarters are located. The European localization also changed Mario's speaking animation, as the original could be misconstrued as a Nazi salute. The Spanish language version changed the name of Chapter 3 from Of Glitz and Glory to El Rey de los Luchadores, which translates to The King of Fighters. This is a possible nod to the fighting game series of the same name. In this chapter, Mario takes on the champion of the Glitz Pit Arena, Rock Hawk. In the Spanish version, Rock Hawk's name was changed to Hawk Hogan, a shout-out to former WWE wrestler Hulk Hogan. At one point, Rock Hawk defeats another fighter named the Coopinator. In the English version of the game, he says, "The weakling should stay home playing video games." But in the Spanish translation, he says, "The weakling should stay home playing Super Smash Bros. Melee." In the English version, Mario's tagline in the Glitz Pit is "The Merciless Executioner." In the Japanese game, however, it's "The Executioner from Hell," which was likely changed due to its religious implication. There are other Japan-centric references that might go unnoticed by Western players. Ghost T resides in room 004 of the Excess Express. The number 4 is considered unlucky in Japan, as it can be pronounced she, which is very similar to the Japanese word for death. The character Dupless is named Ramperu in the Japanese game. This means Rumple, and is a reference to the German fairy tale and character of the same name, Rumpelstiltskin. At the climax of the tale, Rumpelstiltskin comes to take a woman's child. The woman pleads with him not to take her baby, so Rumpelstiltskin makes her a deal. If the woman can guess his name within 3 days, he'll let her keep the child. In The Thousand-Year Door, Dupless offers Mario the same challenge of guessing his name. Dupless is also called Rumple in the German, French, Italian, and Spanish versions of the game. In the first chapter of the game, Mario visits the town of Petalburg. The town shares its name with Petalburg City from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. In this chapter, Mario will collect a Sunstone and a Moonstone, which are also recurring items in the Pokemon series. There's also a young Toad in the town that talks about playing games. In the original Japanese version of the game, he'll talk about playing his favorite Famicom games, such as Super Mario Bros. In the English version, he instead talks about the Game Boy Advance and Fire Emblem. He'll later mention that he's playing The Thousand-Year Door as well. Once the game's been completed, he'll state that he's been playing the new Paper Mario game almost non-stop, and that it'll definitely please fans of Luigi. In the Thousand-Year Door sequel, Super Paper Mario, Luigi has a far more prominent role. This could suggest that plans for Super Paper Mario were already in place near the end of Thousand-Year Door's development. The Thousand-Year Door includes references to non-Nintendo games as well. For example, Lord Crump's theme has the death sound effect from the Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man mixed into it. The game also references the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. Tech, the supercomputer who falls in love with Princess Peach, is likely based on HAL 9000. His eye was even originally colored red, but was changed to blue for the international release. Sir Grodus' computer is actually a Famicom disk system. When Peach starts up the device, it even plays the Famicom disk system startup animation. The discs that accompany it also greatly resemble Famicom discs. There's a large amount of unused content left on Thousand-Year Door's disc. An earlier version of Mario can be found, which resembles promotional art of the original Paper Mario. It's possible that the art for the Thousand-Year Door was originally going to follow this style. One unused enemy appears to be some kind of robot, and consists of a single image file. The character is called Okoru, similar to a Japanese word meaning to get angry. The data for Okoru was never modified beyond its initial entry date, and its image file was one of the first to be put in the game. There are also unused assets for 2 additional types of Spinias and Spanias. There's a Spinia designed to look like a cheeseburger, and a Spania based on an ice cream cone. The sprites for these designs aren't grouped with the other enemies, but rather with the sprites for Luigi's partners. As Luigi gets only 5 partners in the game compared to Mario's 6, many of them food-based, these designs might indicate what was once a potential 6th partner for Luigi. One of Luigi's actual team members is a character named SCREAMY, who's something of a mystery. SCREAMY doesn't belong to any pre-established race from the Mario series, and nothing about him is ever explained. However, in the game's code, there are files for unused enemies that look very similar to SCREAMY. These enemies are labeled MOA A and MOA B. Oddly, Moa Moa is the Japanese name for the Smorg enemies. However, the Smorg files are listed in the game as New Moa. It seems likely that the other Moa files were earlier designs for the Smorgs, and the developers reused them for SCREAMY. Two of Mario's partners also had different designs early in development. Vivian had a slightly different shadowy tail and a flame on the tip of her hat, and Bobbery was originally dressed as a soldier rather than a sailor. All of Mario's partners from the first Paper Mario were meant to make cameo appearances as well, and can still be found in the game data. However, only Paracary and Bo ended up making the cut. It's also possible to exploit a glitch, causing a character to act like one of Mario's partners. At one point in Chapter 5, the obnoxious sailor Flavio will tag along with Mario's party. During this section, you can use a glitch to jump ahead to the next chapter. If the player does this while Flavio is with the party, he will remain with them for the rest of the game, following along like one of Mario's partners, and even staying on screen during cutscenes. Don't forget to subscribe to DidYouKnowGaming for more facts and trivia. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you're a fan of Mario, click the annotation on screen to watch the DidYouKnowGaming video on the original Paper Mario. Click that cute little box on the right there to check out the first part of my Pokemon analysis video where I gush about Pokemon Blue. That's right, Blue. Red version is overrated. Fight me.